good morning. Sorry, Cat from Thailand. How are you doing? True Blue Thai here from Thailand. Hope you're doing well. It's a Saturday morning. One's out. Yeah, one's out. I got that right. One's out. For in Thai. Yes, about 9 o'clock. Just approaching the hour of 9 a.m. here in Thailand. Been up here for a good few hours. Yeah, sun's up. So it's going to rain today, but you never know. For instance, I was going to go do some running today, but yeah. So for instance, but it's going to be another 40-degree day. Yeah. So, but it is what it is. I like it. I love it. I love the weather. I'm not one of these moaning Brits. I hate it. It's just what it is. You know, you got to get used to it. I don't even have air conditioning. Susu, as they say. Stay strong. Anyway, so Wembley, we're famous Man City, and we're going to Wembley, again and again and again and again and again in the Etihad St. And I wish I was going, but unfortunately I'm in Thailand, so what's to go? So, you know, pluses and minuses, you know, there's trade-offs. Anyway, so what's to go? So we got the first part of Pep's press conference, and I don't understand why they have this cut-off thing. I really don't. It's supposed to, you know, for press. And so they can put, you know, like put their, you know, their what's it called, you know, make up, you know, Pep said this, blah blah blah, you know, whatever. And they just make it up as they go along. Yesterday, I was looking at Football Insider, another crappy damn magazine. But I see Stefan Burson was doing a interview with some smug guy from each week. And the only reason I watch it is some kid, American kid by the looks of it. I've got a clue about English Premier League football. But so, for instance, and the reason why I listen to it because I listen to Stefan. But for instance, you get this smug kid talking about. Football Insider, right? The inside scoop. They've got the inside scoop on the Premier League. It appears that, for instance, their scoop is yesterday, and it was all over Google. For instance, you know, like Tuesday turn on Google. There it was. Manchester City are selling Erling Haaland to fund the rebuild. What a load of shit. Absolutely. You know, this is the kind of garbage, nonsense I can't stand. I hate it. I really do. And the fact that some idiot will sit there and believe that nonsense. These guys have zero media, zero responsibility, zero care, and they get paid, and they probably get paid a damn good wage, and for instance, to write garbage, absolute garbage. And you know, and so for instance, and somebody idiot is going to pay for it, and how the publisher, the press, the boss of that Football Insider, you know, and printed that yesterday. Just ridiculous, you know, and again, there's something else what gets in my craw, and it really does. I just can't stand it, and I hate it. And every time I've seen it on Twitter, on Facebook, or God knows what, I've replied back. I even heard Dab saying it yesterday. When he was talking to LB, and it's about Pep Guardiola's private life. It appears that there's some good news regarding his private life, but that's what it is. It's private. Some people are linking it to Manchester City's wins. You know, how pathetic is that? You know, and it's his private life. Private life means private life. Right, I am sick and tired. I don't want to listen. I don't want City fans should have more respect for Pep Guardiola for what he's done for Manchester City, rather than making up damn stories about Man City's form and Pep's private life. What's Pep's private life is Pep's private life. Allow the gutter press to talk about it, but leave him alone. If he wants to do whatever he wants to do with this lady, it's up to him and it's up to these two people. It's got nothing to do with Manchester City, football club, football, anything to do with it, anybody other than that is Pep's private life. So any person, Manchester City, any person I see on social media, on whatever, I will reply because it's about privacy and he needs privacy. Okay, so it's got nothing to do with football, nothing to do with Manchester City. Leave him alone, or I'm going to take a goddamn camera or a microphone and shove it in your parents' face and go, I believe you're having a bit of problems. I believe it's affecting his life of worth. Shut up. Stop talking about Pep's private life. It's his private life. Leave it be and stop insulting the guy. And Man City fans, I don't care who you are. I saw it on Say Chief. I saw it on a few years, and I said Dabs picked it up yesterday. And I was probably kind of joking a little bit. He's a good lad, Dabs. I like him. But on the South Stand, he mentioned it to LB yesterday, and I commented straight back, and I said, "Listen, leave it alone. It's got nothing to do with us. Nothing. Nothing. There's a line, and it needs to be crossed. Stop crossing that line." Move on. Right. So anyway, so let's move on. So what's it called? But other than that, Pep's been talking about the, for instance, first part of the press conference. And if you take away the crappy questions asked to Pep, oh Pep, what's it called? Brian Clough, did you see his matches? Pep's like, I'm not that old. I'm 60 years old. I've seen, whatever, Brian Clough, etc. Pep's younger than me, for instance. Why the bleeding hell would he see it? Honestly, you sit there, this press conference, they sit there all day, probably eating cheeseburgers, God knows what, fucked up brain, and whatever. And these guys are doing this day in, day out, etc. And these questions they talk to the manager. We want to know about injuries. We want to know about players' form. We want to know about, I'm urging these these press officers, the who getting paid a good wad of money for to ask the permanent questions. Always looking for the crappy story, and always come up with the stupidest question. What do you think, Pep? How do you think Kevin De Bruyne is going to feel about blah blah blah? Oh, flipping hell! Gee whiz. You look at Kevin De Bruyne's face, you can see how he's feeling. He's not interested about winning the last trophy at Manchester City. He doesn't want to leave Manchester City. He doesn't. He's not. And how do you think Pep Guardiola feels? Again, it's just nonsense. That's just crap. And also about the questions about Eddie, for instance. Like, leave it be for bloody hell's sake. And no, come on, gutter press. Anyway, so barring the gutter press's crappy questions. There was questions regarding injuries, etc., but there was not really much new. So that's still Edison, Haaland, for instance, Aki, John Stones, Oscar Bob, sorry Oscar, for instance, Rodri, yeah, I think that's it. Still, big core of players out. Important players out. Nice to see him at the Etihad, especially Rodri. He'll keep bringing up the players, being a part of the team, sat in behind. It's always good to see that. It's really good to see. I don't want to see him in boxes. I want to see him behind the back of the team, supporting the players. For instance, yeah. So, for instance, it's good to see that. For instance, it shows a commitment. To most commitment, even though you're injured, you sat there being part of that team, and it probably means a lot to the players as well. Who's playing. So it was good to see that. That was one of the questions. Other questions regarding injuries and when's Haaland coming back. He's getting better. For instance, and Rodri has got boots on now, for instance, but again, takes time. Haaland, ligament injuries again. I've had many ligament injuries, etc. Again, but for instance, he's got a bit tip-top for he's, top of his professions. I can run with my ligament injury, so I just wrap it up and off I go. But for instance, in this guy's career, his life, his next 10 years. So it's so it's gold dust, those legs. So really, but apart from that, there was not really much talked about really, apart from how you're happy about Pride, about Wembley and blah blah blah. Will it make up to the season? No, it will not, regardless. And how many more times are you going to say the same thing? I was listening to Nunes Espirito Santos, for instance, his press conference as well. That was interesting because he was asked about injuries and he was very coy. Can I ask about injuries? No, you cannot. What? Strange. So anyway, but they managed to get out of him the big player, for instance, because they might have three missing, and Amy, I don't know your names, Silva and De Silva Morelos. So many Silvers. Anyway, but the first guy, I believe, he's one of their main defenders. So it's that could be. I think he's only about 25%. So whether we risk him, I don't know. For instance, again, they still got to compete for the Champions League. They got the 4 games left, etc. So it's him. So whether we risk him, I don't know. But it's going to be. So it's going to be we'll see how it. But then again, if a guy's only 25%, you ain't going to play. You're not going to play him. I'm sure Pep wouldn't do so, even though we've probably done so in the past with injury with our defenders. But we'll see how that works out. But that's good news for City. Recent form, what's it called? Well, City's recent form now is looking all green at the moment, apart from one, which is the rags, etc., with the yellow. But other than that, the last six, etc., we've won five, drew one. I think we're on the eighth. For instance, a game. Like a game. For instance, unbeaten run. Bournemouth, was in there as well, where we won that one. If you look at, for instance, in the FA Cup, you look at Forest's recent form. They were doing quite well until after the Rags. They beat Rags, Brighton, and Ipswich, and then they lost to Aston Villa, and for instance, in Everton. But they did win it back against Spurs. Now Spurs are Spurs. And I've just been on the Europa League, the European League second most important, the biggest competition. Okay, and either United or Spurs could win it. That is embarrassing to Europe, to the European leagues, embarrassing to the Premier League, and one of those two clown clubs could be in the Champions League next season representing the EPL. Should not happen. Should not happen. I'm sorry. It should be given to whoever finishes in the top half of the table, not to the likes of United and Spurs, propping up the Premier League tables. And if Leicester, Southampton, or Ipswich were any better, for instance, they would be going down. And that is not the fabrication. That is the truth. They're shocking performance, and but they're saving out their season, and their shameful fans are all having a go at hopefully praise what's to go there that they're showing how they're going to have this parade etc. by winning the second the European Cup, and it's just too embarrassing. Anyway, getting back to the FA Cup, it's beating the Spurs. I'm not going to downplay Forest at all. I think they're a very good team, very organised team. They've got some very good players. Woods is very good. For instance, so Woods is a very good player. For instance, they got a lot of very good Alanga. They got Gibbs White, of course. For instance, they can't hurt City without a shadow of a doubt. And but whether the occasion, whether the size of the pitch, whether the for instance, probably have a few more fans in us by the looks of it. But the end of the day, I don't think, for instance, I think Manchester City will prevail. I think for instance, our worst team performance, this worst run of the season, etc. We did beat Forest 3-0 at the Etihad St, but we did lose at Forest, but it was only a last minute. I think it's fair. I think it's not. I wouldn't say it's a different City, but it's a more confident, more in a forward-thinking City, for instance. I think it's a different kind of City. Confidence is a massive thing, and I think confidence in the players, and I think the players want to win it to make up for the crap season. Their lineup, I did mention their lineup yesterday, but I'll just mention it again, which I expected to be with that injury. Maceo sells for them, Morata, Morello, Merkovic, the old three M's at the back. And then you got two wingers of Tofu and Williams. Then you got Edison and Dominguez in the centre. Gibbs White just playing a bit further forward, and they'll play with two frontmen of Elanga and Chris Woods. City, I think could probably play the same team. Who has been. Why break it up? Back line, just keep it. For instance, until people talk about bringing, for instance. Akanji back, etc. But I don't think we should do so because, quite honestly, for instance, again, even though, for instance, it's a more experienced defender than, say, Nunes, I just feel that, for instance, we need to give him time. I need to make sure and these players are coming back fit, 100% fit, rather than 70% fit the way they were playing during the season. Gundogan, for instance, now it's his third game. For instance, maybe it's one game, 2 steps too many times. I do believe he'll stay. I hope he stays, and he'll come join the Man City coaching staff after he finishes his player career. What's it called? But I do. I think Nico Gonzalez would be better. What's it called in the central defence? But other than that, I expect Bernardo Silva. If it's not Bernardo Silva, hopefully it should be, for instance, what's his name? Silva, Savinho, and for instance, really go out for Forest, and then with Doku and De Bruyne and Marmoush up front. So, yeah, keep this kind of same team. If it's a winning team, keep it. Don't need to mush it around, to minute it around a bit. Pep also talked about the confidence things and that the kind of the. So many things, because again, people are going to say, "Why Man City?" I've seen this so many times. Why Man City falling off? Why Man City falling off the cliff? It's just, I think it's just more than one reason. It wasn't just injuries. It's the players playing in the wrong positions, players playing, for instance, confidence. The amount of, as I said, Pep said, in playing the 3 games with the same players, there was no competition in the players. Players need to feel, for instance, they may not play the next game. So, for instance, it's a lot too much. But I'm sure there's going to be a massive. I'm sure there will be. I think there probably is at the moment a what's it called, inquest into the season, and yeah. So for instance, and who comes and goes. Yeah. So yeah. Bam, bam, bam. Just looking into any information, any comments from any players. Just the usual rubbish, etc. Jason McAtee. Ruben Diaz has been chatting. I feel whoever is a leader in the team and who isn't, everyone has to be a leader of our own selves. By consequences, you will be good. You'll be good influence. And in difficult moments like this season, I feel everyone needs to step up, and there needs to be needs to be there for the team. It needs to be the team in the way the team needs it. So yeah, but which is right. We're going to talk about leadership in the team. We have 3 main targets. We're going to fight to everything. We've got on all 3. The FA Cup, I've won it already, but many in the teams haven't. I think we've got kind of like a love-hate for the FA Cup. Won 3, lost 3, for instance. And it's just we need to win this one. Rodri, yeah, for instance, bam, bam, bam. Yeah, on Rodri, he's playing a big role. Messages in the on the set in the setup of City, which is good. Any other news? Just looking through. Not really. Anyway, yeah. So I'm if you're going down to the game, I wish you good luck, etc. Just again, for instance, I'll be watching it. I've got 2 games on tomorrow as well. We've got the ladies playing against Leicester City at 9 o'clock Thai time, 10 o'clock English time, for instance, for the men of the FA Cup. So big up to both teams. Good to see Nick Cushions doing a ladies update on the ladies game against Leicester later. And for instance, yeah, so a bit of good news on the injuries front there, because again the ladies have just had terrible injuries just as much as the men, but we're looking at a little bit better, just like the men. Yeah, but if you're going down to the game, good luck to you. See, British Railways are still being shockingly bad. Never known. Lived in overseas most of my adult life, and for instance, and quite honestly, there's no worse. I've never met a railway company as worse than the British Railways. Honestly, the type of trains, the crappy trains, Thailand Railway was 10 times better than and cheaper, and a lot cheaper, and than English Railways. Honestly, it's so embarrassing. And the price you have to pay. But if you're going down to London, etc., for instance, down to the Etihad South, well, good luck to you. Enjoy a drink at the Green Man, and good memories over there. But I'm going to leave you. I'll speak to you hopefully maybe. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Any news, any other news regarding Pep or the second part of the press conference? If anything worth talking, but I will have a quick chat with you tomorrow. I've got 10 minutes and see if we get any news. But other than that, Story Cat from Thailand. Like and subscribe. Tell me what you're thinking. Are you going to the game? Are you looking for into it? Do you believe in what I'm saying about Pep and what's it called? And his private life, etc. should be kept sacred to him and his lady. And yeah. So, but other than that, Story Cat from Thailand. Have a good day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Come on, City.